What if I told you you didn't have to have a magic 8 ball to know what your customers want and need? You just have to ask them. Let's talk about that. Hey, it's William here, and I've got Jeremy with me. And Jeremy, what if I told you that we had a secret weapon that would allow us to know what our customers want and need so we can make better business decisions?
I would say it's probably no secret. We talk to the customers.
That's right. So we're going to talk today about customer interviews and how powerful they are. I know I have heard for a long time from people way smarter than me, which is most people, that customer interviews can be a great way to find out what your customers actually want. But even though lots of people know that they're powerful, they just don't use them very often. So do you think that it is because they don't know what questions to ask, or they're too busy, or they don't think that they're going to get anything useful? What do you think?
Honestly, I just think it's probably because they didn't have a good example.
Okay.
They've never seen it done well, so there's that apprehension of what am I going to get out of this? Do I want to invest time into it?
Like, how do I start?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I've got a cool idea. A friend of mine from Pivotal Labs, her name is Sue Chow, and she showed me this technique. Instead of just giving an example of a good customer interview, which is valuable, she started by giving an example of a bad customer interview. So I was thinking we could kind of do that. So we're going to do a bad customer interview, and then we're going to do hopefully a better customer interview.
Okay.
And then hopefully that'll be helpful for everyone to kind of learn how to do this.
Sure.
Sounds
great.
So hey, Jeremy.
Hey.
I was wondering if you have a couple of minutes for me to talk with you about an idea for a game that we have.
I love games. That sounds great.
All right, cool. So the idea is we have an iPhone game where you can answer a question about some interesting piece of trivia that people might not know about you, and then other people that are playing with you would try to guess that that is your interesting trivia piece.
Okay.
Does that sound like something that would be
Yeah, it's
fun?
pretty interesting, yeah.
Okay. And what if we had it where you were able to guess which person you think is there, which person the fact belongs to, but then you also got to try to trick other people into thinking that that was your fun fact. And so there was a little bit of misdirection that could happen there.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Awesome. All right, well, you've been super helpful, and I think that I now know that this game is going to be awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks.
Yeah. So that was pretty terrible, right? What did we actually learn about you and your thoughts behind this game?
Nothing. The search was just to affirm what we already believed. It wasn't looking for any actual takeaways that we can apply to our product to make it better for a customer.
Yeah, so I'm going to get lots of false positives with that kind of mode of going there. Right?
Yeah.
I'm leading them down the garden path.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So let's try it again, and maybe I can do a better job. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this giant Cheeto?
Oof, that's a solid 4.5. Is this a hot Cheeto?
Hey Jeremy, I'm William, and I wonder if you have a couple of minutes for me to talk with you about an idea for a game that we have.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So, do you play games very often?
Yeah.
All right, like with your family, or do you play them by yourself? Or
We have like a family game night at home, and I play games online with my friends.
Okay, all right. So online games. So, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when was the last time you played a game on your iPhone?
Probably this morning after I got up.
All right, tell me a little bit about what that experience was like the last time that you played an iPhone game.
My wife and I will jump on a game, several out there, and we're friends on them. We'll connect and we'll send messages back and forth, and we'll share experiences that are positive.
Okay, all right. So you said that you play with other people online. Are you playing, so not just people in the same physical room, but people across the internet that you're playing?
Yeah. I often reach out to some of my friends that I went to college with. We'll play online.
Okay, so what's your favorite part of when you play that game with other folks? What's your favorite part about that experience?
Just the progress, being able to share like an achievement or messaging them, be like, hey, you want to get on and let's play this game together.
And end. So maybe that was a little bit better this time.
Yeah.
Were we able? What are the things that we actually learned from the customer this time that we didn't the first time?
Well, I think definitely you want to have a stable product that works for several generations of phones, so it supports all people. You have some friends that have older phones. They need to work on their device. Also, intrusive ads, that gets really frustrating. Maybe if you have to use them, you don't make them so prevalent. So that's some of the takeaways you get from that. And you can apply that to the idea you already have.
Sure.
So you don't have to change that focus, but it helps you narrow in what is generally being looked for here.
But I tried not to ask a lot of leading questions. And so there's a couple of phrases that are really powerful Tell me about the last time you fill in the blank. That's interesting. Tell me more. And then just really kind of digging in. And you notice that I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to expose my idea. Really, you, the interviewee, had very little idea what the game is actually, how it's actually going to work, except for the very beginning when I was kind of explaining that it was going to be an iPhone game.
Right. And I noticed that during the first bad interview, you probably did 60 to 70% of the talking.
That's right.
And during the second interview, I was doing almost all the talking. So I think that's a good indicator if the interview's going well or not.
Yeah. So this is definitely something that you can practice on your own. We have a worksheet that we're going to include a link to that has some prompts that are there. It also has some opening phrases that you can say, and then also some tips. Like Jeremy had mentioned, you want to do much more listening than you do talking. So there's some tips that are in there, and then a place for you to be able to write some notes.
For this week's challenge, contact 2 customers, set up a 15-minute interview with each of them, fill out the questions, and come up with 2 things that you can change based off of those interviews.
It says we have to record it again.
Oh, God. Ugh, it's negative. It's a boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it says you're fired.
Oh, God.